Hello and welcome to interest.co.nz. I'm Gareth Vaughan with 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the Bank of New Zealand, where we wrap up the major overseas events in about 90 seconds starting now. We start this morning with news the New Zealand dollar has touched another record high of 62.6 euro cents. It's also risen to 52 British pence, which is near its record high of 53.7, and the trade weighted index, or TWI, is at 71.2, its highest level since September of last year. This has come amid continuing concern that Europe will fail to resolve its sovereign debt crisis anytime soon, which is weakening the euro and shares on both sides of the Atlantic, plus boosting US treasuries. Meanwhile, official data also showed the German economy, which of course is the Eurozone's biggest, contracted by about 0.25% in the fourth quarter of 2011 from the third quarter. It also emerged that Eurozone banks are hoarding much of the European Central Bank's €489 billion December injection into the banking system, and therefore effectively thwarting the ECB's attempts to prevent a credit crunch. Much of the money has ended up on deposit with the Frankfurt-based ECB itself, instead of being lent to companies and individuals. Overnight deposits with the ECB have jumped by about €223 billion to a record €486 billion since the loans were made to 523 lenders. Governments are urging European banks to keep lending while also telling them to raise €115 billion of core capital by June to combat the sovereign debt crisis. But instead of raising equity, Bloomberg reports that most European banks plan to meet the capital rules by cutting €950 billion from their balance sheets over 2 years, either by selling assets or not renewing credit lines, leading to concerns they'll cut lending and kill off any economic growth in the euro region. Elsewhere in the world, amid heightening tensions between Iran and the United States, an Iranian nuclear scientist has been blown up in his car by a motorbike hitman, with Iran blaming Israeli and US agents, while insisting the killing won't halt its nuclear program. The scientist was killed by a magnetic bomb as he drove down a busy street near Tehran University. The killing comes at a tense time, with Iran has started an underground uranium enrichment plant and sentenced an American to death for spying. The US and its European allies have bolstered efforts to cripple Iran's oil exports for its refusal to halt work that they claim really involves plans to build nuclear weapons rather than the power plants Iran claims. For its part, Iran has threatened to choke the West's oil supply through blockading a key area in the Persian Gulf, which has led to a US warning that its navy is ready to open fire to prevent any such blockade. However, despite these latest developments, the price of West Texas crude oil was largely unchanged overnight at $101.7 a barrel. Well, that's 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the BNZ, and I'm Gareth Vaughan at interest.co.nz.